Welcome back, Romantic Home family, and welcome if you all are new. I am Olivia, Olivia's Romantic Home, and in today's video, I am so excited to share with you guys some DIY spring decor crafts. So this is another episode in my I Love Spring series. We have Easter coming up, super excited for that. But in today's video, we're gonna be popping outside and decorating my mailbox, and I even might be painting it. Can you guys guess what color? I'm so excited for this. Also, you're gonna see Benji Bear, my little puppy dog, helping out with some gardening. Now, listen, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's totally free. It helps me out so much as I am a full-time content creator. And pop over to my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook page where I share daily crafting inspiration with you all. I share like 6 or 7 videos a day over there, as well as I have a free Olivia's Romantic Home DIY group page that you guys can join and share photos of your home decor and DIY projects. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody that has been sharing pictures and just welcome greetings over my Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook group page. I am so amazed by all of your beautiful work. So thank you guys so much for that. Now, listen, I know you're here for the crafting and decorating. Without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns, get out your glitter and paint, and let's get to crafting. For the first DIY, we're going to take my mailbox and make it a little bit more fabulous because you guys know I love my pretty colors and pink is my fave. So I went to the paint store and had a consultation with the paint professionals because I didn't want to mess this up. And so they recommended the Krylon Fusion, and it's just a flat primer spray paint that I needed to lay down on the entire mailbox because I'm going to be using my cotton candy pink paint that I used on my walls in my house. Now, listen, I don't know how long this is going to last or how it's going to hold up, but for now, it seems like it's doing pretty good. But you want to, the paint guy said, really make sure that you lay down a good coat of primer over any type of plastic that you're going to paint. And then he said, then you should be good to go. So anyway, now I went ahead and started painting at my mailbox. I did tape off the flag and the number. And for some reason, I lost the footage of me painting just this entire part, but you guys kind of get the drift. I'm just brush painting it. And I did do 3 coats, let it dry in between. Of course, I was a little bit impatient and globby with my paint work, but it ended up coming out really good. So I'm super excited for this. Now, let me know what you guys think about this color, number 1. Number 2, have you ever done this before? Number 3, I just want to let you all know that I am so thankful and blessed to have a mailbox to paint. I'm so thankful and blessed to have a little home with a little mailbox to paint. So don't get me wrong, I do love my black mailbox. It was fine. There's nothing wrong with a plain mailbox, but you guys know that I am kind of turning my house into like a little bit more Paris chic inspired, or shabby chic, or cottage, or love shack fancy, whatever you want to call it. I love girly romantic decor. Maybe it's just plain old Olivia's romantic decor. So anyway, so here I am. You guys can see a little bit more of the process where I'm giving it a nice good coat of pink paint. And I will tell you that it was a little bit difficult because the mailbox obviously wasn't standing up inside of anything. So fun fact here, my son accidentally crashed into my mailbox and knocked it over. And I thought that that was a blessing in disguise because I was like, you know what? I've always wanted a planter for a mailbox. So I created a planter outside my mailbox to kind of put my mailbox down inside of. I could anchor it with some Quickcrete, so that might be something I want to do, but you guys know I love to change my mind and change things around, so I just really think it's nice to be able to have some rocks popped in there. It doesn't look super great, but we're going to cover that up too. I can't wait to share this tutorial with you guys. It's so fun and fabulous, but I did let it dry overnight, so that was good, and I'm super excited to see what my mail lady is going to say. I know they get a kick out of all my little mailbox fun goodies. So I went ahead and popped it back into the planter, and in the meantime I decided, okay, I'm loving the look. I did the planter in white and the mailbox in a very pale pink. But you guys know we're going to have to jazz it up a little bit more. So for this DIY, we're going to create a beautiful mailbox floral. All you need is a Dollar Tree pool noodle, split it in half, and then 4 rolls of Dollar Tree Deco mesh. So I'm cutting up the mesh in about, I'm going to say this is about 14-inch strips. And if you guys see me talking, I'm talking to my daughter. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it into strips and then create little bundles because
I didn't have enough greenery to create a really full garland that I needed. So I thought, you know what, mesh is a really great way to kind of mix in just some fluff and stuff. And plus, the plastic mesh I think will hold up pretty nicely as we go through the spring showers and into Mayflowers. So what you want to do is just take your mesh after you've cut it, and I'm using 3 bundles, and you just kind of burrito roll them, but they're already kind of rolling into themselves. And then you're going to take a zip tie or a pipe cleaner or floral wire, whatever you have on hand. I like zip ties, they're so easy to use. My fingers don't struggle with tying them. The dexterity of my fingers as I've gotten a little bit older is a little bit off, but it's not too bad yet. So anyway, you want to create little burrito fluffy roll-ups. You could add ribbon into this. Now I do love adding ribbon into my garlands. However, I will tell you that as much wind as I get in the spring, I don't know. I think I'm just going to skip that part this time, but I'm also kind of longing for a bow. So we may add a bow later on. Now, once I had all of my bundles created, and I did 2 rolls of bundles for this entire pool noodle, and the pool noodle is cut in half as well. I'm just going to take and I'm going to zip tie the bundles onto the pool noodle. So this is super secure. I really wanted to make this really wind resistant because I live up on top of the hill, and we get some hello wind. We get tornadoes in my area, and so I just really want to make sure that it does not go flying off. In fact, about 2 years ago, you guys, I actually lost my original mailbox. It went flying away. We did have like a little kind of mini tornado that happened. My neighbor's tree came down. My fence came down. It was quite a fiasco. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure, I guess what I think about now when I do my decor, I really want to make sure that it's all going to stay. But, you know, you never know what's going to happen with weather. Anyway, I'm just making sure these are on here really nice and secure. I'm leaving just like about an inch or so in between to put my florals in. I'm going to use some greenery and some beautiful florals. So once I had my 2 rolls of mesh bundles that I had created onto, zip tied onto my little pool noodle, I'm just going to kind of fluff them out. And I did leave a little bit of extra room without one at the bottom just to make sure I could get it onto the mailbox correctly. So then I love these greenery pieces from Hobby Lobby. They're really inexpensive right now. I think they're like $6.99 and then half off of that. And I got a white bundle and a pink bundle, and then I'm just going to clip them in half for this part. So I used just a couple stems off that one. I didn't use the whole thing, and I'm just going to again clip them in half, and I'm going to hot glue them into my pool noodle. So that's also going to keep them really in there and secure. And I will tell you guys, this was a bit of a process. I had to put I love listening to audiobooks on YouTube while I'm crafting, and if it looks like I kind of have like a I have a very concerned face, I feel like sometimes in my videos when I'm crafting, but it's because I'm concentrating really hard and listening to my audiobook and just trying to make sure that I get this tutorial right for you guys on so you can see things well and that it's going to look correctly. And it's a little bit tedious to do this much gluing work with small pieces because I did burn myself in multiple places, but it was all well worth it, and then none of the burns were bad. So anyway, I also have neuropathy in my hands, so a lot of times I don't even feel the glue on some parts of my skin, especially my fingertips. But you know what? I'm thankful for my fingers and my hands, and so all is well. Now, once I had that done, I kind of was like, okay, what part do I want to do next? I love laying down my greenery first. Now, this bundle of florals is the most beautiful bundle of florals for the most budget-friendly price at Hobby Lobby. It's $10.99 and you get half off that. So you get a lot of flowers plus all that greenery on the flowers. I push the greenery up because I want these to be a short cut. So I cut everything off, that way I could kind of survey how much I had. And I've never done this garland before, so I was just kind of creating as I was trying to share this tutorial with you guys as well. I'm starting out with the larger kind of pink flowers because they're going to make the biggest statement, and I just want to space them, you know, a pretty even amount. There were 4 of those on the bundle of florals. If you guys hear a funny noise in the background, BG Bear is eating his dinner right now. He's crunching. So then I'm going to add in the hydrangeas and some of the pretty roses. So once I had all the pretty flowers on, I went in with another layer of greenery, and this time I cut the greenery really short. I wish I could have used ferns on this. I looked at Hobby Lobby, but the fern greenery was really expensive, and I really do like the look of this greenery. I feel like it looks really cottagey and just fun and girly, and that's really what I'm going for at my home, is that really pretty little kind of French country Paris chic cottage. Now here is me attaching my garland. So once I had everything on, I'm just going to lay it over the back of my mailbox, and then I'm going to attach it with some zip ties. So what I did was I took a large zip tie and I just threaded that through some of the zip ties that I used. So you can see that I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? And that big black spot on my mailbox is where I still need to put the letters back on, and it actually worked out great because I'm filming and I really don't want my letters showing. And so anyway, so here we're going to just zip tie this on. Super easy peasy, you guys. And you have a gorgeous garland. Okay, so you're probably going to notice that I waved at somebody. It's our UPS driver. He's been our driver for years. He's super sweet and helpful. And he had to stop and talk to me, and he was like, oh my gosh, that is the most gorgeous mailbox I've ever seen. So I just left that clip in because it was so sweet. He was like, are you getting ready for a wedding? And I was like, well, I have prom kids coming to my house to do pictures. I have 2 graduations coming up, and I do have a wedding in September, even though they're not getting married at my house. house. I just want my house to feel extra fun and cozy and all that fun stuff. Okay, so now for the next part of this DIY tutorial, we're gonna make a similar floral piece, but we're going to do it on a shorter piece of pool noodle. So this is the other half of that pool noodle that I had cut in half, and I just kind of measured the width of my planter because I want some flowers down in my planter. Now, if you guys aren't redoing a mailbox, you can take this same idea and do a garland over your front door. You can, just use this floral anywhere. So I just thought I would share this with you. Again, we are going to cut about 12 to 14 inch pieces for our mesh. I think it's more about 12-inch pieces. I'm not super particular. I think mesh is just so easy to work with. You're just going to bunch it all together and then tie it off with a zip tie. And then we're going to use another zip tie to tie that on to my piece. And again, I have such a focused face, so really I am smiling inside because I do absolutely love crafting, but it's very serious business, okay, you guys? It's what my face looks like, I'm noticing. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep adding in my sweet little mesh. Again, just cut your mesh. I used 1 roll of Dollar Tree mesh per little floral here. So this is a really pretty budget-friendly craft. If you guys have some Dollar Tree deco mesh, super easy to work with. Now, I will tell you it's not the most high quality. So if you shop your Hobby Lobby sales, you might want to get their mesh. It might be a little bit more high quality. But for the price, and I already had this on hand, my sweet friend Stacy gave me a bunch of Dollar Tree crafting supplies. I thought this would be just perfect.
Stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say.
Okay, and same process as the last one that we did. We're going to add in the greenery first and then add in our pretty florals. And I'm using the same little florals I found at Hobby Lobby. I added in my little flowers. Now, for this smaller one, I just used a couple of the little Hobby Lobby flowers, and I must have cut out that clip on accident. I apologize, but if you guys go back and watch that first garland I did, I'm just using that little bundle of Hobby Lobby flowers, and I just cut some of them off. And these are the most budget-friendly flowers that I have found at Hobby Lobby. You guys are gonna have to let me know in the comment section, please, where do you find your florals that you can get to make garlands and stuff on a budget, because florals are so expensive, and I really do feel like it's nice to have some new florals, even though, you guys, I repurpose and reuse everything for so many years on end, but it is helpful to go ahead and have some new florals if you're making something that you want to last for just a little bit and to be able to make a certain look. And I really wanted this to be very cottagey. So I made 2 of these. Now I'm going to flip them over and just gently zip tie them together, because these are going to go into my planter, and I ended up making 3 of these. So I'll share with you guys how I get them into my planner. My daughter helped me film this part. And so I'm just going to go ahead and add those 2 that I zip tied together to my planter. Now, I thought I was going to be able to zip tie them in, but I realized I needed to use floral wire because there was just I didn't have a zip tie long enough for this, which is fine. I bought this floral wire to use on my roses in my backyard because, lo and behold, I didn't even realize I had a climbing rose. I just thought I had a rose that was really out of control, but it needs to be climbing. And so anyway, I'll share that with you guys on another video on what's going on with that rose. But I just went ahead and added this in, and you guys could do this at the base of your mailbox or anywhere that you want to add really any pretty decor piece. So, and it's really pretty budget friendly if you guys have the pool noodle, the deco mesh, and then just some pretty flowers to work with. So I hope this inspires you guys to make something pretty. Now I did have to go in and fill in. You guys can see there's a little bit of the pool noodle, and I'm kind of crazy about making sure everything just looks a certain way. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, I will admit that. I'm trying to let go of that, but it pays off with some things. Here is the final look. I set my little bunny outside just to see if he would look cute, but then I realized I was afraid that he might fall over in the pathway of somebody trying to drive by, and I just didn't think that that would be a good idea. So I ended up moving the bunny to the front yard, but I think that this turned out beautiful. This is by far my favorite mailbox floral that I've ever done. I feel like it came out so good. I didn't spend that much money on it. It was about $23 in florals from Hobby Lobby, and then I already had the deco mesh and I already had the pool noodle. So what do you guys think? Do you love my mailbox color? I think it looks really subtle and really nice. I wanted to do pink, but I didn't want it to be too crazy, although I might go back in and paint it a brighter pink. We'll see how it holds up. Oh, and underneath the floral, I did add in just some plain green leaves, so hopefully it doesn't scratch up my mailbox too much. Only time will tell if this is going to hold up, so I'm here to tell you guys right now, paint at your own risk. Now I know they also do make white mailboxes and bases, but I already had the paint on hand except for the spray paint that I had to get from the paint store, but it was a lot cheaper than going out and buying a new mailbox and stuff. So use what you have and bloom where you're planted, which I think is probably a great motto. And I can't wait to share with you guys our next DIY. It's definitely going to involve my little puppy dog, Binty Bear.
You in my arms, won't let go. The world around could pass us by, a thunderstorm, a lightning strike, as we hold each other tight. You're the rose in a garden.
Okay, I couldn't resist going ahead and buying a couple little plants from Walmart, and these were really budget friendly. I think these were about $3.75. These are going to be the shade plants, and then my little petunias were really inexpensive as well. I think they were $1 something per plant, $1.75 per plant. So I got a couple little petunias and 2 hostas for my little shady area. And then these little baskets of petunias, I don't know, I don't really recommend them. They're already struggling. So, but these little petunias that were the dollar petunias, or $1.75 petunias, were doing really good. Now, here's the fun part about this. My little puppy dog, Binty Bear, was totally into this. And you can see I have him tied to a lead, but the lead comes out because I was super nervous. I live kind of close to the road, and I was just worried he would run out. And I was just blowing on his head because the dirt was getting in, but he loves to like dig in rocks and pick up rocks. And so he was loving it, doing this with me. He's just my little buddy. He is my little crafting buddy. So he was digging in the rocks and I was digging in the dirt, and we just had the best time. So I'm going to let you guys watch us plant these pretty petunias and be entertained by Binty Bear. So for all the puppy dog and kitty cat fans out here, Binty Bear is going to have a really big part in this tutorial.
Hold you in my arms, won't let go. The world around could pass us by, a thunderstorm, a lightning strike, as we hold each other tight. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh.
So I had to give my pretty petunias a nice little drink of water, and then I was just kind of racking my brain to see what I should do with the rest of my little pretty petunias. And I feel like there's kind of a dead spot right here next to where the landscapers had put rocks in. Originally to our home. And so I just went ahead and pulled out some of the weeds next to it. And here Benji Bear is really excited by this part. And I decided to kind of just make like a little side garden bed. We'll see how this does. I hope it does okay, because sometimes we get a lot of rain and hopefully it doesn't wash away. But I did shore it up with some mulch, some extra soil, and then some rocks. So I just felt like it needed some mulch. Walmart has big bags of red mulch for $2.75, so that's a really nice thing to add to your garden and your planting if you guys enjoy that look. So I just added in some topsoil here to kind of create a little bit more that I can dig down into. The topography where I live is very rocky. We have a lot of lava rock underneath. It's very hard to dig down and plant anything in my yard, which is kind of sad because I love flowers. Although I do have rose bushes and different things planted, you just can't go very deep. And so you have to kind of create your own little garden areas. So we're creating this, and hopefully it's going to be okay the way that I did it. Time will tell. Hopefully, I think that the mulch will hold it down in there though. But again, look at Benji Bear. He's going crazy now. I did let him off his lead by now. He proved that he was going to kind of be okay. And so he did okay. He stayed with me and he didn't run off, but sometimes if there's like a motorcycle, that can get him going. And so I'm just really careful to keep him on a lead, and also, other dogs running through the neighborhood and whatnot. But I planted the rest of my little petunias, and it's about 4 or 5 days into this that I've had them planted, and I'm happy to report so far they're okay. So let me know if you guys have any tips on how you keep your petunias blooming and lovely and nice. I would love to hear. Now Benji Bear is back at it helping me. We're going to plant in my little planter on this other side of my walkway that goes in up onto my porch. I've got 2 little hostas, and I do really well with hostas, so I know that they should be okay. And then I planted some type of little greenery viney thing. I've already forgotten what it is, but it seems like it's doing okay so far. And I did add in some mulch, which I don't know if you're supposed to do that in a planter box, but I was just hoping that that would help keep the moisture in if I forget to water over here. But we'll see how everything goes. Again, I usually do pretty good with hostas. And then of course we have Benji Bear. He is just so funny, and I'm just trying to make sure. I think our neighbor had pulled up with a boat, and so I was like, stay by mom, here, come play with the rock. So there he is. But he's excited. He wants to participate with me, but he's also interested to see what our neighbors have going on. Okay, now I have to share with you guys another little garden space that I created in the front part here. You guys saw me do that big giant nest that I used those 2 wreaths with, and then this little Dollar Tree bunny. And then I already had this stool, and I just added a little bit of paint to that because it was looking kind of grungy on the top. And then I already had these little bunnies, and then I moved one of my baskets of petunias over here because it seemed like it was maybe getting too hot and too much wind. I don't know, it's already struggling, which makes me worry because I just bought that. So, and then I added a beautiful cross to my tree just in honor of what Easter is truly about, the resurrection of Jesus. And so I am going to be sharing also a new devotional with you guys, and thank you guys for all your encouragement. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I hauled bigger rocks from across the street. There's a big field that I got some rocks from, and I kind of created a little garden bed. I added some mulch back behind my angel statue, and then here is another little vignette I created. I got really decoraty today. I try to keep things pared down, but I'm more of a maximalist. Benji Bear was back inside at the end of this day because it was kind of hot, and Tinky Bear wanted her moment in the sun. So Tinky Bear is my outside kitty cat. And you see that there's a little spot. She always gets a little spot back there when she starts shedding in the springtime. She does not like to come in all the time. In fact, I just tried to get her to come in about 5 minutes ago. She wants to eat outside for this evening. So she's just kind of funny. She's always been an outside kitty, but then sometimes she likes to come in. But anyway, here is the front of my home. Somebody had asked for a picture of it, and here was me adding just a little bit of paint to just kind of finish things up to that little stool. But you guys had wanted to see what the front of my house looks like. I changed over from doing all mulch in my front garden beds to rock a couple of years ago. It was suggested by my landscaper that came in to help me with my yard. And so I've actually enjoyed that pretty much because the mulch was a lot to keep up with and was kind of pricey. So once I put the rocks in, that was a lot less upkeep for me, which I'm trying to keep my home as manageable as possible. You know, when you're a homeowner, there's a lot of upkeep and cost and work that goes into having a home. And so sometimes, though, I do miss the wildness of what I had going on in my front yard. I had more irises that kind of got covered up, but I have a lot of pretty roses that they planted, and so I really enjoyed that. So let me know what you guys like to do in your front yard. Have you put your flowers out? And again, just painting this with a little bit of that pink paint. We'll see how it goes. It's that Cotton Candy by Sherwin-Williams. I just have some left over from my big indoor living room project. So what do you guys think? I am kind of loving this little space that I created right here. Again, I'm trying to keep things a little bit more pared down, but also just enjoying decorating. I'm having my family over for Easter, so I had to go ahead and go all out. My studio is overflowing with my Easter crafts, and I thought, you know what, we're going to spread them out. I had a lot of them kind of tucked underneath my Easter Christmas tree because I was like, it looks like a craft bazaar sometimes in my house, which is okay. I love that look too, but I'm trying to do a little bit more Paris chic. I'm really excited about my, little makeovers that I've been doing. So I hope you guys are loving it and you're loving seeing Benji Bear. He was really the star of the show today, and then Tinky Bear, my kitty cat, making an appearance. But he approves of our little garden things. What do you guys think? I haven't been doing real plants for a while, so I was really excited for how all this came out.
So thank you all so much for joining me out on the fun and fabulous crafting and decorating adventure. It's such a true blessing and honor to have each and every one of you all here. For those of you all that are new, welcome. I'm Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home. I'm a DIY crafty mama. I love to share with you guys how you can have a boutique gorgeous home on a budget. This is my 7th season on YouTube. I'm a seasonal decor enthusiast, and I have over 1,000 videos here on YouTube. I also have an Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook page. You guys can pop over there. I share about 6 or 7 videos a day over there for crafting and decorating, as well as I have the Olivia's Romantic Home DIY Facebook free group page. I simply started it for us to connect and for me to see what you guys are up to, and for you guys to share photos of your home decor and DIY projects, and it is truly a community. I am so proud of everybody that's posting their crafting and decorating. I love to see what everybody's up to. I'm so uber inspired. So thank you guys so much for that. Now, recently I have been, well, actually I started doing this in the fall, but I have been reading out of He Whispers Your Name. I've just been reading little devotionals with you all. I think it helps out so much. And we do have Easter Sunday coming up. Super excited for that. My heart is already filling with joy. We're gonna have Easter dinner with my family, and then I'm gonna do a little egg hunt for some of the kiddos that are still in, in and around my family group. It is going to be raining, so I'm going to do like a little inside egg hunt, and then we're going to color Easter eggs because I still love to do Easter eggs. I think it's so fun. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys are up to. I love to hear everybody's traditions. So I am also been getting ready. I have 2 graduations in May. My son and my daughter are both graduating. One's graduating from high school and one's graduating from college. And then I have a wedding coming up in September. My son and his fiance are getting married. So my heart is bursting with joy. You guys can probably tell my studio is bursting with joy. I'm just so excited for this amazing season and just asking God to soften my heart and bless my heart as my mama heart goes through being an empty nester. So give me a little prayer and then a little comment down below on what are your tips for being a successful empty nester. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what our Bible study has to say. So this says, first things first. You want to know the answers to life's problems, to know exactly which step to take and which ones not to. But common sense won't give you the answers, and don't be tempted to draw conclusions about your circumstances without consulting me. Seek me first. So there's our first little nugget. Seek God first. Your reverent fear of me will enable you to enter into my presence. Without viewing your troubles from my point of view, you can never take the proper steps of faith. You need me to guide you step by step. There is no other way to victory. There are things you simply cannot know or understand, and there is a spiritual world in which the battle rages over your life. I have secured your soul for eternity, but the battles of life will not end until you enter it, and don't rely on yourself, your own wisdom and understanding, for it will be faulty at best. Seek me first in a humble fear of who I am, and I will unleash my power over anything in your life that is outside of my will. Victory will come, but you must come to me first things first. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. And that's Proverbs 9:10. So having that fear, but also knowing to put all of our trust in God. And I think it's important to walk in God's will. When I feel anxious, confused, upset, I know that that's probably not God's will. So I hope that wherever you're at, this can be a little nugget of a blessing. And I hope whatever you guys have going on, that you guys say some prayers, listen to some praise and worship music, and get into God's word so you can really have that direction and that peace that surpasses all understanding. I want to hug all of your hearts so tight, as I know we're all going through something. Remember that as you gather for Easter, that everybody is going through something, and give everybody a clean slate as God has given us a clean slate. So when somebody that walks through the door, maybe they're a little grumpy or upset or just whatever, just give them a hug, love on them, and make them a kind meal, maybe write them a little note. And remember, we all need God's grace, including myself. So I love y'all to the moon and back. Until our next video, be kind to yourselves, be kind to one another, and we'll talk to you guys very soon.